All right. Now, in order to get this to a state where I wanted it to start laying the pavers, I added sand, about 3 bags of it, to this area to get it, well, not leveled up, but flat. Because flat really is more important than level. You could lay pavers on a slope, I suppose, and be just as good as anything. But I wanted to have this flat over long distances. So what I used is springs. And that's so that you can sort of shuffle the sand around enough to get it very flat over long distances. And I used this one because the other one I had, the one I usually use for flattening lawns, is that one right there, which is just a bed spring from a single bed, and those springs would level things out or smooth things out. And usually I drag that around with the tractor, or a garden tractor at least. It has a little handle on it and some chain. I can pull it by hand, no problem, but it's heavy, it's big, and working it inside this space was a little bit problematic. So I grabbed this one, which is just a spring from a futon, and used it instead. And I dragged it around until the sand is basically level. I'm done with that. I used my little stamper to pack it down a little bit, especially around the edges, but most of it is just like walked on, because I'm pretty heavy, and as I walk around I pack this stuff down. Now, plate compactor would be really nicer in some ways because it's got a bigger footprint and it makes a lot more noise and everything like that, smoke, and it's all good stuff. But I didn't want to go rent one, and it's a nasty winter day, whatever. I didn't want to get outside. But I'm starting to put my bricks down into this little herringbone pattern, and I thought it would be clever if I marked out a diagonal line so that when I put these things down, I'll stretch them across the middle and just go all the way, and then build out in each direction from that central point this way and from the central point that way. Then, all of the bricks will make it look like I knew what I was doing when I get them all done. So I got a little start here, and it's kind of amazing, like your brain has to kind of get used to, even though this is a very simple pattern, it takes a minute to get it in your head of what's actually going on here. But I've started this little section here, and I'll start from the doorway. Started from the doorway because that's kind of where I want it to be at the edge, more precisely. And as I lay these things out, whatever happens on the other end, well, that'll be whatever happens on the other end. It may be a full brick, a half a brick, 3/4 of a brick, I don't know. But when I get there, I'll have to figure out how to adjust for that. Hopefully I won't end up laying all this across the middle and then deciding that, I gotta take everything back out. I hope to get enough in here to establish whether that's good enough, or if I need to start over and do it better with some other kind of offset on that end. But we'll see. I certainly don't want to lay all 1,000 bricks down here and then start over again. I'm hoping that this string will help me just set it up once and repeat until finished. And then once it's finished, then I'll be able to level up the top of the bricks, because as much as we level this underneath, the top of the bricks may or may not be level, because these bricks are not necessarily all exactly the same thickness anyway. And nominally they are, sure, but in actual fact, they may be a little higher, a little lower. I don't know. So they need kind of pack in here and get stacked up to be the same height on the top. And I don't care what the height is underneath, but the top needs to be flat, not necessarily level. And I think there is a little crown, a little higher spot in the middle than on the edges, which is okay with me, because if there is water in here, I'd rather have it run over into the corner and soak down through it and get out of here, rather than just sit in a puddle in the middle somewhere. Anyway, that's my thoughts for today. We'll see how far I can get these laid down and give you a picture of what it looks like when we're finished. Thanks. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff.